There's a reason why Gen X women can handle it all. Why we never give up, we never cry uncle, we just power through. We didn't ask for this resilience, we were just dropped right into it. Back in the day, post-women's lib, our parents were out there, especially our mothers. Historically, they would not have been there, but we were left at home so they could go out and enjoy this newfound sense of equal rights, equal pay, which was great for them. But for all of us Gen Xers, at home we were left, latchkey kids. We invented a lot of stuff. We were given some direction, we were given some instructions. Don't use the stove, don't play with fire, don't hurt each other while I'm gone. How many of us broke some of those rules? We're Gen X, of course we did. But that didn't mean we were born stronger. We were just forced into resilience. We had to develop survival skills. We knew, and these were words from my mother, do not call me unless somebody's bleeding or dying. So there were a couple of phone calls throughout the childhood until probably mid-high school where somebody was bleeding, and sometimes it was me. I had a family of sisters only, and yeah, we fought like boys, and we were ugly about it. But that's a story for an entire different video series, which isn't happening today, but let's discuss some more. However, as we entered into our parenting season of life, and this is for all of you who actually had kids, I was just the aunt, so I was continuing to teach the self-reliance, resilience, etc. But y'all wanted to make sure your kids had it better than what you thought you had it. And if we look at this generation now, the one that we gave birth to, that's currently raising their own kids, I don't think we did them any favors. And surprisingly, what our parents put us through, when they dropped us into this cesspool of resilience, they did do us some favors. But there's some drawbacks as well, because we are perpetually in this cycle of hunkering down, being everybody's emergency contact, making sure that we get it done. We will struggle more than any generation before us, figuring out when to start letting some of it go. Because we've been in survival mode since we were double digits, most of us. So as we're starting to look at this next season of life, some of us are very hesitant. I'm never going to retire. What the heck would I do with myself? Because we have not had that opportunity to figure that out since before we were 10 years old. From 10 years old forward, we were basically mini adults, which was great. We are the people we are today because of what our parents insisted we learn how to do at a much earlier age. But when do we slow down? When do we say quality of life is better than quantity of self-yardstick, I'm making a contribution? Because it's not about money after a certain point. If you don't know what your monthly number is, and I'm talking how much it takes for you to live right now, I think you'd be surprised. Down in the description, Master Your Money Plan, Life Experiences to Income Workbook, both free. You need to go get those, because this is part of that first step on the process of figuring out when enough is enough and when you can start laying some of this latchkey kid built-in self-reliance, self-resilience down. Now, I am speaking to the Gen X women because we are fierce, and the men in our lives know this. But men, this goes to you too, because a lot of you were left in charge because you were the boy, you were the man, you had the Y chromosome. So you were left in charge of your siblings. So you yourself have become a phenomenal team leader, manager of people, CEO of your own company, whatever your career track has led you on. But knowing when to dial that back, just like with us girls, it's a whole nother kettle of fish. Part of the added benefits of being in this latchkey kid generation, the Gen Xers, where we had to figure it out from a very early age, is we became perpetual stress managers. And time management too. Let's not forget about that. How many times did you have a chore list? My dad created this month-long chore list. No, there was no allowance. It was because we had to pay for the luxury of having a roof over our heads and food in our bellies and clothes on our back, regardless of what the source of those were, because we did a lot of thrift store shopping, a lot of Dollar General store shopping. I can remember my parents taking us to food salvage locations when the budget was really tight. Bless their hearts, they worked their butts off to provide for us, but they were living in that 1980s culture as well, where they were trying to keep up with the Joneses. So a lot of the income went to trappings versus basic necessities, and we all know better than that. Okay, we learn better than that. We make sure that we've got those four walls covered. We have done stupid, some of us. We've got some consumer debt because we too were trying to keep up with those Joneses, or feeling, I work hard, I deserve this. Yeah, you do, but you deserve to pay cash for it. You deserve it from a peaceful standpoint. Again, not the video for this. I've got others, go out and binge them. All about making sure that you take care of your basics and you plan for your treats. Sometimes we can build those into a budget, especially when we hit a certain point where we've got no debt and the house is almost paid off, and et cetera, et cetera. But for now, basic budgeting, master your money plan, go get it, because you need to know what your number is so you know what your number needs to be for retirement, because when enough is enough, we're laying it down. But a lot of this conversation, it's because of how we were brought up, the amount of responsibility on our shoulders. It takes us a little bit more to figure out how to start winding it down and figure out, yeah, we're talking Peter Pan, how to be a kid again. Because a lot of that was stripped away when we had to start taking care of ourselves after age 10. Pretty much childhood ended. Innocence may not have been lost, but childhood ended. We became little adults. And that has followed us into adulthood. Competency has become an identity. Self-sacrificing, that's normalized, especially for us women. Now, I was brought up in the South where you were raised to be a Southern belle. In spite of myself, I still have some of those traits, but it's instilled in you that you put everybody else before you. You put your husband first, you put your kids first, you put your church, your community, your friends. Everybody comes first, except for you. I'm entering, thank goodness for this, I am entering, and we all are, into a season of life where I can put me first. Yes, is my husband still part of the equation? Is your partner, is your long-term companion, whatever you have. If you're single, fantastic. I've been single 2/3 of my life. But if you can, and you can, because we're going into this next phase of life, put yourself first in a lot of this equation. At least co-first with whomever is in your life. We've also had difficulty in asking for help. Asking for help to me meant I was not good enough. I'd be perceived as weak. I would be perceived as not knowing what I was doing. If I had to have help, God forbid people think I didn't have it all together and I couldn't do it all. That was the impression I wanted people to have. Was that because we were latchkey kids or Gen X or just fiercely independent women? I don't know. It's probably a bouillabaisse of all that. Am I burnout? Because it has happened more than once in my life. I hid behind the trappings of that I was doing it all. And my hyper-independence most definitely has been mistaken for strength. I had a friend's husband. I used to call him my rent-a-husband. Whenever I needed an escort to a business event or something, I would always say, hey, you're going with me, put on a tie, etc. But he sat me down. When he saw the light in my eye with him, he sat me down and he looked at me and he said, let the man be the man. You don't have to be strong, independent Jen in this relationship. He needs to know that he can take care of you. Because, yes, there are men who need to know that. Now, does my husband respect the heck out of me? Because, yes, I can stand beside him with a chainsaw while he's got the winch going. I am a capable, independent woman, but I'm also his partner. And who among us does not want a partner who we look at as an equal and not as somebody we have to take care of. So as I move into this next phase of life, I'm trying to remember the goal is balance. Balance in my life, balance in the example I set for my nieces and nephews who are now raising kids of their own, and definitely balance for those second generation nieces and nephews of mine to see what a strong, capable, independent woman who's okay being alone, not lonely, but alone, that example needs to have a better example of balance in it. So for all of us Gen Xers that were raised, dropped into the soup of life, the resilient saute that was our childhood, who became these adults that just outperformed, went home, killed it, brought it home, did everything, was everything for everybody. Let us all catch our breath because we've earned it. It is time to figure out for the rest of the sunrises you have in front of you, because you got more sunrises behind you or sunsets behind you than you do sunrises in front of you. What do you want each day to look like? If you want to continue working, continue working. Great. If you want a hybrid retirement, let's do that. I personally will start off with a hybrid retirement as I adjust and decide, do I want to continue doing this indefinitely? I may just, because I got a little say about a lot of stuff. All right, so I'm Jenny. I post on Wednesdays and Saturdays to sum all of this up. All right, Gen X, women especially, we are fierce, we are independent, we can do it all, we are everything to everybody. We've proven that. Shields down. Who are you? What do you want to do? What do you want your days to look like? Keep coming back. Let's figure this out together. Stop recording. Sorry about these bracelets. They are noisy. Again, not the video for this. I've got others. Go out and binge them. All about making sure that when he saw the light in my eye with the man I eventually married, when I reconnected with my sweetheart, the guy I met when I was 12 years old at the bus stop. Yes, Gen X women, we are stronger than steel magnolias. We are. Can I even say that? This is going into the bloopers.